on the Hunt team embezzled over $1,000 in buy money. That didn't help us. And also the Presque Isle County prosecutor was investigated by Hunt, prosecuted by the Attorney General's office, and he walked away from that.
Wow.
That became very, very public. He was down here campaigning against Hunt, quote unquote. He was at meetings down here talking against Hunt. So when Scott talks about the perfect storm, there were a number of other things going on at the same time. Just not the medical marijuana issue.
No, that was a big issue too.
Yeah, it's a huge issue. Still is.
Okay, Larry, I'd like to finish my point. The reason why I brought this up is not to brag on what I did. I thought it was going to be tough to get these things through. I sent that to my township board. I got calls. They wanted to sign it. I brought it up here. We signed it. I took it to the Board of Commissioners. I'm thinking, man, this is not going to pass there. They signed it. Thing is, you can't be afraid of is to engage, because if you're afraid to engage, you're going to get what you got right now, which is nothing. It's time to engage. We've got to engage with people. You've got to start talking to people. I'm talking to people in my district right now. I mean, everything that is coming up is political because of what is going on just in general and how people are getting upset. If you don't engage them and you don't tell them the truth, and that's the thing that we got to do, is we've got to educate ourselves. Because if you're educated and you know the truth, you're going to be able to talk to these Hunt issues and say, look, we need it because and for these reasons. And you're going to be able to dispel the stuff that got it sunk the last time. I'm sorry, I'll yield the floor now.
Okay.
Part of what we're fighting, especially in Alcona County, you know, is Kennedy and the group that's trying to get Patalia's seat. So we really need to support Sue in her effort to capture that 106th district seat and retain it Republican. If Kennedy wins, and Kennedy's base is here in Alcona County. He was a school teacher here.
He's big in Greenbush too.
Yeah, well, he's from Greenbush, right? He's your neighbor.
I know.
But
Actually, he was a teacher in
Alcona. I asked him.
well,
He was at that Democrat meeting, and I had mentioned the Hunt millage, and of course, you know, he had to say something. And he asked me, he said, with limited funds out there, don't you think the money is better spent on prevention and treatment? And my answer was simple, no. You've already talked about, Bob, the impact of supply and demand. It's no different with drugs. You have to attack both sides of it. And he sat down and didn't say a whole lot after that, but I know I didn't change his mind in any way, shape, or form. Which is sad, because he doesn't see the stuff that the deputies see, that EMS sees, the impact on families and children. So it's bothersome to me, and I agree, we need to support Sue in every way, shape, or form that we can.
I agree. Yes, sir.
I just want to make a comment with regard to what they're going for. We have in Sheboygan County SANE, Straits Area Narcotics Enforcement. And Board of Commissioners is fully supportive of that SANE program. And I know Kathleen could, I'm sure she's run into this before, where child care expenses for the county. I know in Sheboygan County they're continually rising. And a lot of that is related to families where the drug issues are present, the kids are removed, they go into foster care. Some don't stay in foster care, but instead have to go to more of a specialized rehab, I guess. And then that cost has to be shared between the state and the county. So there are a variety of ways where the counties are experiencing the costs. The sheriff has told us the majority of individuals in jail, and I believe we've got an 82-bed jail. The majority of the people are in there for drug-related issues. Might have been a B&E, but they were doing the B&E to find the drugs, or to find the money to go get the drugs. So, very, very prevalent. And then these farm parties, where the kids are collecting pills, putting them into a big bowl, and then just grab a handful and see what happens. And the other issue is physicians being very liberal with scripts. I was at a program, Michigan Association of Counties put it on, and they had an individual from Oakland County talking about how it is spreading like wildfire, and they're going to try and work with physicians also to get them to back off on the scripts that they're issuing. So, multifaceted problem, definitely.
You got a question?
The question I have is, when I heard about the heroin epidemic and everything like that, and some of the issues with these pills that maybe the kids get out of their parents' or grandparents' cabinets, what I'm concerned about is, years ago, kids went to alcohol, and they had access to alcohol, and I'm sometimes I have to wonder whether or not, because our efforts on enforcing the alcohol laws have taken that away as an easy access thing, they go for the pills, which is much more serious, probably more detrimental. That's one of the things I'm concerned about. I hear it too. I also know a woman who lives in Colorado. I went to high school with her, and she's got severe diabetic neuropathy, extreme pain, and she's having a very difficult time getting her prescriptions for pain pills. And that's a concern too, because to deny people the ability to get prescriptions for pain when they really need them, even if somebody in their own home may steal them. I don't know, it's a horrible situation, but if I was in pain, I think I'd want to be able to have access to those pills.
I think you are, though, you know, I mean, if you have a legitimate, you know, you have access. But I think what everybody's telling you is, you have a responsibility, too. I mean, I've had chronic pain for all my life, and I've had every kind of pain pill you could think of. And I'm a foster parent, and I've got those drugs locked up. I'm responsible for those drugs, and no kid's gonna get my drugs. So there's responsibility with whatever, even if you're a drinker. You know, you have responsibility to that. You can't just say, I have a right to be able to drink, or I watched all these guys protesting at the courthouse there last month, and it's like, they're arguing over their right to get wasted. And I'll address that under the children's portion of this in a minute, but, you know, yeah, you might have the right, and personally, I don't care. Go ahead, blow your brains out. But, what are you doing to these kids? By not being responsible. I'm not saying you, don't get me wrong.
Right.
I'm just saying people in general. They have a responsibility with everything. When you drive, when you drink, when you do everything.
I sometimes feel that we as Republicans who believe in limited government, we're responsible people out of their rights so many times compared to the way it was years ago. We're getting more and more demands that are placed upon us, duties and obligations. That's unacceptable to us beyond a certain.
I don't think it's any more. I think it's, you know, I don't believe it's any more at all. I think it's just being responsible.
Bruce, you had a comment?
Oh, yeah, I would like to hear more from Scott. I know he clearly had more to say. Can he do that? Get up there and say some more? Scott? Can you go back up there and finish what you were gonna, because you clearly didn't finish.
No, I was finished. I mean, I certainly would address any questions or anything if anybody had.
Oh, okay, all right, then, as long as
You
you're
know,
finished.
speaking about the gentleman's analogy to the alcohol, I don't think it was our crackdown on alcohol with minors that caused this. It's the availability and over-availability of medications and ease of access that kids have to these medications. They weren't there when we were kids, but they are now. And it's an easy high, it's a fast high, and if you're able to steal from your parents, it's accessible, as alcohol was when we were younger.
Well, it started in the 80s with, you know, what's your pain level? Yeah. That's where it started, because prior to the 80s, that was never an issue. Now you walk in, and now it's all about pain management. that's why these pills are so, these drugs are so accessible. The one case Scott was talking about, the individual's getting 210 morphine tablets a month. 210.
Why are they getting so many morphine?
He's your mailman.
Well, that's where this doctor prescribes it, and then this doctor over here prescribes it.
Sometimes the doctor's shopping, but
Yeah.
as your tolerance levels go up for these medications, doctors.
That's not
prescribe
abnormal.
more to
That's a
manage
normal
your pain. It becomes a
Really?
vicious cycle of overuse.
All right, well, we all have some good stories, good conversation.
Go ahead.
I don't think that the police is to police the doctors and their prescriptions. It's the people who are using the medications inappropriately and selling them and using them as their ways to get things that they need. It's not the normal, everyday person who needs their pain medication.
We're gonna have a sign-up sheet for Scott, aren't we, so we can give him our names and phone numbers and help him out?
Yeah, please.
So, we'll
Yeah.
leave it at that for right now.
Yeah, one sign-up sheet for if you want to talk to me some more or want to support, and another one if you're